All right, folks, welcome back to another exciting episode. Today, we're diving into a topic that's as deep as the ocean and just as mysterious. The concept of free will. It gets people talking, debating, even arguing. So let's get into it. Free will is the idea that we have the ability to make our own choices. It's like, are we the captains of our ships? Or are we just passengers being tossed around by the waves of fate? Imagine, if you will, walking into your favorite coffee shop and deciding between a caramel macchiato and a classic black coffee. Is that choice truly yours? Or is it influenced by the fact that you watched a video about caramel desserts last night?
Wow, that's a good point. So it's like our decisions can be shaped, right? But if we're influenced so much by outside things, do we really have control at all? I mean, what if it's all just an illusion?
Exactly. That's a fascinating line of thought. Some philosophers would agree with you, saying that if everything is just a response to external stimuli, then choices might feel more like an illusion rather than genuine freedom. But here's the twist. There's also evidence from neuroscience that suggests many of our decisions are made before we even become consciously aware of them. It's like, wow, we think we're making a decision, but our brain might have already flipped the switch long before we realize it.
That's kind of wild. So what if I'm just a puppet and my brain is the puppeteer? But then if we don't have free will, do we still get blamed for what we do? Can I blame my brain if I eat the entire pizza instead of just one slice?
Haha, that's a great analogy, pizza, as a metaphor for choices. So yes, if we dive into the deep waters of determinism, then accountability becomes murky. Imagine living in a world where everything you do is predestined. It raises the question, if free will exists, wouldn't that motivate us to strive for improvement? It gives us the sense that we can take charge of our lives.
Right. So if believing in free will can help us change and grow, does it even matter if it's real or not? I can see how it's almost like a placebo effect, where just believing in the choice could push people to be better.
Absolutely, you've hit the nail on the head there. Think about athletes who visualize their success before a big game. That belief in their abilities is absolutely crucial. It's similar to how our perception of free will can inspire us to take control of our destinies, even if, on some level, we're shaped by our biology and environment.
Whoa, that makes me think. So if I grew up in a certain neighborhood or family, those experiences shape my choices, right? It's kind of like if I was raised in a sports family, I'd be more inclined to think I could excel in that area versus someone who didn't have any exposure.
Precisely. Our environment plays a significant role in shaping our beliefs about what we can or cannot achieve. But it's not just about where we come from. It's also about how we respond to those circumstances, which is where I think personal agency kicks in. You can be influenced by your surroundings, yet decide to carve your own path. That's the dance of free will and fate.
So there's still some wiggle room there. It's like that saying, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. Do you think that by surrounding ourselves with certain people, we kind of create our own little world of choices?
Absolutely. The people you surround yourself with can uplift you or pull you down. Think of it as an ecosystem of influence, sort of a garden where you can plant the seeds of your life. Choose the right companions, and you can cultivate a vibrant, thriving garden. On the other hand, if you're surrounded by negativity, it can choke growth.
Wow, you're making gardening sound deep. But really, if I'm picking my garden, maybe that's a way to exercise my free will, right? Like deciding who to let into my life.
Exactly, you're getting it. So it brings us back to that core feeling of having options, which, regardless of whether or not free will is an absolute truth, is crucial for our sense of freedom. What do you think? Do you really feel like you have the power to choose in your life?
Well, I guess it's a mix. Some days I feel unstoppable, and other days it feels like I'm just trudging along. It's like, wait, and this might sound random, do you think aliens have free will too? If they exist, are they battling the same dilemmas?
Haha, wow, that's a fascinating detour. If aliens exist, and that's a big if, what a mind-boggling thought. They might have their own version of free will shaped by their own contexts. Are they driven by urges or desires? It spins the whole dialogue of free will in a cosmic dimension.
Right? So there's a universe out there where alien beings are wrestling with free will while I'm trying to decide what to have for lunch. We're all just lost in the cosmic questions of choices.
Haha, exactly. It's both humbling and exhilarating, no matter where you go in the universe. The quest for understanding ourselves, our choices, our freedom, is a universal journey. All right, listeners, as we wrap this up, remember that even if the question of free will is complex and layered, the very feeling of choosing is what truly matters. Until next time, keep questioning and keep choosing.